Hello and welcome to Spirit Forest. I thought, ooh, I look really white right there. There's Rockies. I'm gonna leave my, what did I leave there? Those are my sunglasses right over there. I'm gonna leave them because I'm working on trying to not wear my sunglasses and it's cloudy out right now. So, I was thinking we'd go on a little walkabout. Do you wanna join me? Let's go on a walkabout and chat. I just arrived at my property, and so I want to check it out, make sure everything's okay. Ooh, gotta check this out. Check this out. Look what I just found! I saw something orange. Do you see it? Look at that. Isn't that cool? What bird here has an orange? Oh, we're gonna keep this. Yes, we're definitely gonna keep this. That's like really special. It's a special feather. Okay, we're gonna put it up by my water over here. That was a good find. Okay, let's start our walk. Get going. Look at these deer prints. You see it? You see it right there? Another one here. This deer was like running or something. Another one there. Another one there. Wow. It was running. So I'm thinking we have a little chat while I'm looking around, seeing what I can find on my property. There's always something that goes on while I'm gone. And I was gone for 5 days. I was gone for 5 days. It's always sad when I'm gone for so long and then I come back and I'm like, what happened? There are some squirrels that have entered, they've entered my tent. And so now I have that powdered stuff around. I know that I'll be taking the tent down soon, so it's like I don't want to set up a bunch of traps right now. But yeah, so continuing with my squirrel issue. They are loving my tent. So, gotta get distracted. I keep thinking I see something. I was thinking that we have a talk about a time with my daughter where I felt that she was okay without me, and it turned out, ironically, she made this. And she really wasn't okay without me in the wilderness. And it's a moment in my life where I feel a lot of guilt. I feel really guilty and I feel like I was a bad mom. And I thought about talking about it. So, this happened about a year ago. I think almost a year ago till today. No, not today. But it's about a year ago that this happened. And I was backpacking with my daughter. And you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to sit down so we can chat. Let's walk just a little bit more. And then we'll find somewhere to sit. I found a spot in my little forest to sit here and chat with you a little bit. And maybe this, I actually videoed this backpacking trip that I'm talking about on my channel. So if you feel like watching it, if I remember, I'll link it here. Or you can look up backpacking, mother-daughter backpacking, I think it might be titled. You can look that up in my videos. And it was a backpacking trip that I took with just my older daughter, Madison, who was 13 at the time, and now she's 14. So I took her backpacking, and it was her first, like, I think it was 2 nights that we went in there. I can't remember. I think it was 2. And but that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, it's getting windy. I gotta wait for the wind to die down there. So I have a hard time talking about it, but I think it's a learning lesson too, and it's something that is constantly on my mind. So if Madison ever watches these videos, she probably won't even remember the incident, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And it's one of those times where it's like, as a mom, I felt like I might have failed a little bit, you know, and I have a hard time with it. And I didn't film any of that on that video. It was like during, I mean, when I do a video, you know, it's like, was it 30-minute video or something like that? And we're out there for, you know, the whole day, you know, so I'm not filming everything. Anyways, let me just talk about it. So my daughter, Madison, this is more Madison, not Kyla, but my Madison likes to compete with me. She has always been that way. Well, once she got to her preteens, then it was, I can do things better than mom. Mom doesn't know anything and I know everything. You know, I think that's a typical preteen. However, I don't think Kyla's gonna be that way, but Madison's that way. And I think, part of me thinks it's cute, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, you know. And if anything, it helps me try to stay in shape more, you know, because she's trying to beat me on the trail. She's trying to beat me on everything, you know. It doesn't matter what I do, she's trying to beat me. Like, she'll cook something and say it's better, hers is better than mine. Like, I get that all the time with her. So we were out there and I said, okay, Matt, I like challenging my kids. I really do. I like challenging them. And we were at we already pitched our tent, and so we were hanging out at the river, and it was really pretty. And, you know, I had a lot of warm fuzzies with her, and I said, I double dog dare you to cross this stream. And it was like it was a little stream. It wasn't any raging river or anything like that. You can cross it going on a bunch of rocks and stuff. And so she's like, okay, I could do it. And I'm like, okay. And so she attempted it, but it was like balancing on little moss-covered rocks, and you had to go across the stream. So the rule was, like, the game was that you couldn't fall into the water. That was the game. So she got on one of the moss rocks, and she's like, Mom, this is not possible. Because they were pretty far apart too, you know. So this is helping her too when she goes like backpacking and balance and all. That's all the stuff I was thinking of. And so she went and she slipped on the rock and got in the stream, and she got all mad. She says, you were giving me a challenge that wasn't possible to be finished, and why are you giving me this challenge, you know? And she was having fun. Like, she was having fun like 5 minutes before then. You know what I mean? Like, it was fun for her. And now ends up being, I'm bad because I'm choosing a challenge that is not possible to complete. So I said, well, I'll do it. And again, we were a little competitive with each other, you know, but like, I knew I could do it, you know. Anyways, Madison watches this video, she's gonna be mad at me. So I went across the stream, no problem at all, you know. And then I turned around and went across the stream again, and I said, see, it's possible. Well, at that point, Madison was pissed. And I'm not talking like a little mad, like she was really mad and went off the hook with me, like completely just yelled and screamed, and I don't even remember what she was screaming at me about, other than, you know, I don't even know what she was screaming about. But she was extremely rude, like really rude. And I told her, you don't talk to me like that. And then she's just like, whatever, you know what I mean? Just, she was pissed. You know, if you have a teenage daughter, or she was a preteen then, or no, was she 13? She's a teenager. You have a teenage daughter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, and I'm just like, hey, we were just having fun. I was just showing you it was possible. She tells me, she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Well, we're in the wilderness. There's bears around. I saw bear scat. There was moose scat everywhere. And I was like, let me go with you. And she's like, I don't need you to go with me. You know, and she's still pissed off at me. You know what I mean? I can go to the bathroom by myself. And I'm like, whoa, okay, Miss Independent. Yeah. You know, I'm like, go ahead and go. So she was going to the bathroom. Well, she was gone for a while, so I was just like, oh, maybe it was, maybe she really had to go. I don't know. So I went to the tent, and she wasn't there. And so I'm like, maybe she just needs some time alone, you know, to calm down, is what my thought was. So I crossed the stream again and went upstream, not too far away, like, not even 100 yards from, maybe 100, I don't know. I was within yelling distance, but remember that, because that's part of the story. So I go across, and I got to admit, I was pretty upset too. You know, I was like, I don't like being yelled at. I don't like being yelled at by anybody, you know, like anybody. I don't tolerate that. You know, you treat me with respect, and I'll treat you with respect, you know, and I was not being treated with respect by my daughter. So I went off and I sat down and was watching the river. I went upstream a little more where it was more narrow, so it was really loud. The water was really loud, coming over these rocks and such. And so I was sitting there and I was just hanging out. It might have been 5-10 minutes. So this is where I became the bad mom. I knew she was going to the bathroom. I figured she'd just go right back to the tent and just pout in the tent or something. There was a lot of bugs around, so she was probably hanging out in the tent. But I was sitting there, and I was just in the dirt, kind of fiddling around, listening to the stream, calming myself down a bit. And then I heard something, and I was like, and again, the stream was really loud, and I heard something. I'm like, what was that? And so then I kind of ignored it. But I could see in the distance there were some other campers, and they all like looked up like this, like, what's going on? And I was like, maybe I should check on Madison. You know, still pissed at her. So I leave my spot and I go to check on Madison. And I was getting out of the loud noise area where the stream was going, and I hear Madison screaming. Now, you guys heard her sing. Like, this girl, like, she's got a voice on her. The people that were in the distance, they didn't have the stream, so they could hear Madison yelling, Mom. I couldn't hear Madison yelling, Mom. So I hear her yelling, Mom, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go over there, you know. And then I hear her screaming, Mom, like in terror. So, it's windy again, hold on. I had to move because it was really, really, really windy. I'm like, do I have to move again? If you see something coming out of these logs, can you let me know? Because I keep thinking some critter's living in there. And Rocky's telling me there is a critter. If you see him over there, he's telling me there's critters. But the wind's coming this way, so I thought maybe it won't be as bad. But I don't know, we'll see. I might change my position again. where was I? Yeah, I was at the big part. So Madison is screaming like the top of her lungs, like, Mom, Mom. So now I'm running, like literally running to her, thinking like well, I thought it was a moose, not a bear, because there was a lot of moose scat everywhere. So I'm running, you know, because it's like, that's the kind of mom I am, you know, I'll take on a moose. Anyways, so I get over there and I yell back so now she can hear me. And she's like, where are you? And I could tell with her voice how upset she was. And I come up to her and she was bawling. Like tears, poofy eyes, like completely bawling. And I'm gonna try not to cry right now. Don't cry. Don't cry. Okay. She thought I ran away. Like, she thought I left her. Like, I wouldn't have left her, you know? I just said, I was just right there. And literally, I wasn't that far away. It was like, I'm like, from here to the tent. Which you don't know where the tent is. But you can maybe see the tent in there. I don't know. I don't know if you can see the tent in there. But, like, I really wasn't that far away. But I couldn't hear her because I was next to the stream. She came up to me and, Rox, go somewhere else. Go on. Go somewhere else right now. Go. Sorry. Hold on. Can you go? No, it's windy. I'm just gonna let that wind go. I'm not gonna edit this. She was bawling, you guys, like full on crying. And she came up to me and she hugged me, which is not what Madison does. She's and she's always been this way. She's very distant, very independent, never really needs me, you know, and she hugged me like a true hug. Like, and she said to me, I thought you left me or you got eaten by a bear or a moose tackled you. I didn't know where you were. And it like killed me today. Like even today, like it still affects me. Like I feel affected by it. That I was a bad mom because I left. And yeah. Still today. And I don't even know if Madison will ever remember that again. You know, like I don't know if it's just a mom thing or something, but it's like there's a couple times with Madison where it's like I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. Like the first couple times dropping her off at daycare. Oh my gosh. That was like torture. Torture for me. Torture. Because I can't even talk about that because I'll end up crying. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Not on video. I'm the tough Viking girl. We don't cry. Anyways, okay. So she hugged me and I talked to her and we sat and like we hugged each other. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was like the best feeling ever for a mom because I felt like I was needed. Because with her, it's always like, Mom, I don't need you. Mom, I can do this. Mom, you don't do this right. You know, like even like hanging the bear bag. She's like, Mom, you don't do that right. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And it's like, you got to pick your battles with a teenager. You know, you can't fight with them on every battle or else they'll hate you. So... anyways, that was an emotional time. I'm actually got emotional on that because even just thinking about it, it still affects me. It was a year ago that happened. But now I see her in the wilderness and she always keeps an eye on me. She always does. She's always making sure that I'm around. And trust me, I'm not leaving. I'm not getting out of eyesight with her. Like, I tell her too, I'm going to the bathroom right here. I don't get out of eyesight with her at all in the wilderness. At all. And it felt, as much as I'm pained by it and I'm saddened by it, it felt good too. It did, because she then realized that, you know, that there's still things that she needs to learn in the wilderness. You know, like she was trying to figure out how she was gonna pack everything and go down to the car, and, you know, like she was like ready to go, and all by herself. And, you know, she still needs me. And it's a warm fuzzy to have, you know, to know that your daughter still needs you. And as much as she's very independent and very strong-willed, just like her mom, it felt good. It felt good. But I'll tell you, I'll never be out of eyesight with my kids in the wilderness again, even if they're in their 30s. I will always be there. Okay, we're actually supposed to be walking the property right now. So let's continue our little walk through the property. I think there is something in that wood stack that Rocky keeps going to every time we come here. I can smell it, but I don't feel like digging through it because it kind of smelled like death. So I think there's something that died in there. Okay, well, there you go. I got emotional in a video. I didn't cry though. Didn't cry, but I was very close to crying. Deep breath. She's okay. You know what I do to teach my dog to stay with me? And some of you probably won't agree with this. Here comes the baby. I leave them. And everyone trains their dogs differently. I just want to tell you this because what I do might not be what you do, but guess what? Guess who's right next to me at all times? That boy. He does not run off. None of my dogs run off. They all stay right next to me. And how I train them to do it is I'll take them into the wilderness. Once they're attached to me, I get them all attached to me, and I'll take them into the wilderness, and then I will, I'll leave them. Like, and not totally leave. I have an eye on them, but I'll dart behind a tree where they can't see me. And I see how they behave when they can't see me, is what I do. And then I'll come out of the tree and I'll say, like, for example, Rocky. I'll say, Rocky, I'm here. So then Rocky comes to me. And then we walk a little more, and as Rocky were to drift off into the wilderness again and go explore on his own, then I dart behind another tree. And I just keep doing this until he gets to the point where he's like, I gotta stay next to her. She's tricky. She disappears a lot. So that's how I teach my animals how to stay with me. Now, I'm on my own property right now, but most of the time Rocky's right next to me, even on my own property. Do you want to see how my baby tree is doing? Let me show you. I'm going to zoom in because I don't want to go over there. Do you see it yet? Baby tree. See how it's growing on the south side. So on the north side of the tree it's not growing, but on the south side of the tree it's growing. It's getting windy up here, the top of the property. Do you see all the leaves? That, do you see this can that's over here? Right there. That marks the end of my property. So we're at the top of the hill. I'm like on a slant on my property. So yeah, that's how I teach my dogs to stay with me. And I usually choose a wilderness area that's not very popular. So that way when I leave them, and I always have an eye on them. Like I'm always watching them. You know, for the most part, they get really attached to you and they want to be next to you. But as soon as like you dart behind a tree and they can't find you and you're watching them freak out, once they start freaking out, that's when you come out of the tree. So in case you want to do this with your dog, I don't know. Just be careful because you don't want them running off is the key. So as soon as they start freaking out, that's when you come out and say, I'm here. And then they'll come over to you. Okay, that's poor Aspen. It's never gonna have a chance. Still alive though. I had a bunch of mushrooms here and I think they've all died off now. Starting to get really dry again. The fire, surprised we're not in a fire ban, but the fire risk is really high right now. So I won't be lighting a fire tonight. Even in my stove in the tent, I won't be lighting it. Let's go to one of my favorite spots. I love this. It's not on my property though. I'm trespassing on my neighbor's property. But only by like 5 to 10 feet. Is that truly trespassing? So far everything looks in order too, which is good. This is one of my favorite spots to sit at. Because it just, I don't know, it looks like a little throne over here. It looks much better in person than it does in the camera. But it's really cool looking, and I've done a couple videos sitting here. So we're gonna sit here for a little bit, and I'm gonna end up saying goodbye here shortly. There we go. Sorry, that was probably a terrible view. I was just getting situated though. Isn't this cool? And it has like all this, when it gets really wet here, it has all this moss and stuff growing, and it's really pretty. And it's really, really like bright green, and I love the little moss stuff. So there's my story of me being I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet, but not being a very good mom, you know. Or maybe it is a good mom. I don't know. Like there's a part of me is like how I train my dog, and now he's always next to me, and I mean he's right there eating something, some stick or something. But you know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, she's more attached to me and she watches where I'm at in the wilderness now, just like my dog does, you know. It's getting a little chilly now. The wind's coming. It's chilly. So, there you go. There's my story. I hope I can get over it. It's really, really windy right now. I hope I can get over it and not constantly think about it, because it's constantly in my head. I bet I think about that time at least once every 2 weeks. I think about it. And when my daughter says, "Mom, I don't need you," I know she still needs me. I know she does. You know, so like she had an event, and she said, "You don't need to be there, Mom, you know, that's fine." I still showed up, you know. And I think that she's kind of at this age where she wants me there, or she like wants to know that I'm there, and she'll look over to see if I'm there, but she doesn't want to talk to me because I'm not cool. I'm embarrassing, you know. Her friends the other day told her, "Your mom's so cool." And Maz was like, I was like, I am cool. Okay, I'm gonna end this video because I'm gonna start rambling about teenage stuff, raising a teenager. So, and I know a lot of you have had teenagers and understand what I'm going through as well. So, and thank you for that. I really do. I mean, trust me, I don't need any negative comments on this video. Like, I have enough of pain inside me for being too far away or out of hearing distance. You know, I don't need any negative comments. I've learned my lesson for sure. But these are the things that, you know, there's no book to being a parent. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you for joining me today and listening to my story. I really appreciate it, and I do hope to see you on my next video. Bye-bye.